Hello and welcome to the Idea to Income training. This is an introductory lesson where I'm going to show you what will be covered in the course, and I advise that you please pay attention. My name is Philip Amiola. I am Director of Innovation at the Plenipotent Company Limited. You can connect with me on my personal website, philipamiola.org, and you can also learn more about me there. I started my first business as an 8-year-old in primary school. I teamed up with a colleague. Okay, his name is Taiwo Jeremy. We were classmates then. He's a medical doctor now. And what we were doing was creating television. We were creating toy television. We used cardboard. At first, we were using matchboxes, old matchboxes and old calendars to create televisions, toy televisions for our classmates. And at some point, we moved to cardboards because old matchboxes were in short supply, but we could easily buy cardboards from bookshops. Okay, and the business was so successful that we employed 2 of our classmates. We're in primary 4 or so then, I think primary 4 or primary 3, I think it was primary 4. I was about 8 years old because I was still in primary school and I got to secondary school. I was in JSS1 at the age of 10. Okay, so I should have been like around 8 years old at this time. And the business was so successful that we employed 2 of our colleagues. Interestingly, both of them have the same name, Michael. I still remember them very well. And we're paying them wages every day. So when we paid them their wages, they would go and buy puff-puff, they would buy buns, buy snacks and enjoy themselves. But we that were the business owners, where is people doing all of that? I'm just saying that this thing has been innate. Okay, I now recognize it and developed it, and by the grace of God, the results have been massive. I would not want to go too much into that. I've shared some of my story on the discussion platform. If you are not yet on our discussion platform, please join. You are going to find the link in the chat. Okay, I'm just letting you know that by the time you complete this training, you are going to learn like you would have learned from somebody that has been there and done that, okay, and somebody that is still doing it, not just putting together a lot of things and then saying you are creating a training for people. No, the goal, as you are going to find out as we proceed, is transformation. You need to be able to move from where you are to where you want to be in terms of creating businesses, okay, looking for viable ideas that you can convert into real businesses that will generate multiple revenue streams for you. And at the end of this training, you would have found that kind of business idea, and you will know exactly how you can create at least 5 streams of revenue from it. It can be more, but it's not going to be less. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to everything that we're going to share so that you get maximum benefit from this training. So we're going to share principles and paradigms. Principles hold everywhere, and that's why this is something that you can apply regardless of where you are. What kind of economy you are in does not matter. The principles are going to work. It's just like the law of gravity. If you jump up, you are going to come down, except you are operating by a higher law, the law of aerodynamics. Okay, so once you are operating under the law of gravity, everything that goes up comes down. Even those things that are operating by the law of aerodynamics, like an aircraft, for example, it still comes down eventually, you understand? So I'm just saying that principles are fixed. You cannot break them. Okay, so we're going to look at principles that once you understand them, you are going to be in a good position to get started. We'll also look at paradigms, okay, that you need to understand and that will help you as you enter the process or as you begin the process of going from idea to income. We'll look at some practical frameworks and proven business models that will make your work easier. And why do I like frameworks? Anybody can pick a framework and plug into it. Just plug in what you have into the framework and you are good. It's just like, look at this picture on the screen, for example. Now, you see something plugged in. If you are going somewhere and maybe you traveled and you did not remember to take your travel adapter, that's your charger, maybe the charger of your phone. Once you know the model of your phone, you can get another charger there and then you plug it in and you are good. You understand? Or maybe you are traveling and then you have your charger and you have your adapter, you have your this mobile socket that you can carry along. So it doesn't matter where you are going. You just get there, you just plug it in, and you are good. Do you understand? Okay, so that is the same way. It's the same approach that we're going to take to this. We'll look at some frameworks that, regardless of what you are doing, regardless of where you are, those frameworks and those models will work for you. So you just take the appropriate business model for you. You plug it into the right framework, and you create a stream of income. It's as easy as that. You'll be surprised. Now, when I say it's easy, I mean the process is simple. Of course, you are going to need to do the work, as you are going to see as we proceed, but the process is very simple. It's not difficult at all. You just do the thinking, and then you plug it in, and you are good to go. You will see examples, real life patterns and prototypes of how these frameworks and models have been implemented. I'll show you some examples from the Plenipotent company, and I'll also show you some examples from our client, and also some general examples that you might even be familiar with. Okay, and finally, I will introduce you to a partnership opportunity. Beyond this training, there is a retreat. That retreat is free. It's a 2-day retreat, okay, and it's absolutely free. So we're going to look at the frameworks that you have come up with at the end of this training and the models, and we're going to sit down to build your business systems together over a period of 2 days. Then after those 2 days, I'm also going to coach you and mentor you for 6 solid weeks. Okay, so this is something that I am committed to. It's not just doing a training and then getting away. No, because the goal, as you are going to see, like I said earlier, is transformation. So if you are ready to go the distance, I am ready to work with you. All you need to do is complete all assignments in this training. We have some pre-training assignments. If you've not completed them, complete them. Okay, and all of the other assignments that are going to be given, make sure that you complete them also. Then you are going to have an opportunity to be one of the people that are going to join me at this retreat. All expenses paid. We are going to stay for 2 days. Okay, we come on a Friday, we leave on a Saturday, so we're there Friday evening. Friday morning, like around 11 a.m. on Friday, then the whole of Friday. Then on Saturday, we also start early in the morning, and we leave like around 11, 12, okay, on Saturday. And your accommodation will be fully taken care of, your feeding will be taken care of. If you want to eat certain kinds of food, maybe you might come with your food, but we're going to provide good food, good accommodation, air-conditioned apartments and all of that, okay? So, and it's absolutely free, like I said, because our goal is that we want to help people. I want to show that this thing that we're teaching, we want to show that it works. Okay, so you are going to come, you will see that, okay, if this thing is not working, then we won't be able to sponsor those kind of programs. Okay, so it's important that you take notes, take copious notes, because you are going to be learning things that you did not know before. You are also going to be reminded of things that you already knew. Don't let the things that you already knew, don't let them stop you, from taking notes, because it's not about how much you know. It is about what are you doing with what you know. And for all of us, there is always that implementation gap. If we do everything that we know, our lives will not be where it is. That's the truth, and it's for everybody, okay? So it's important that you take every opportunity you have to close that implementation gap. And one of the first steps to doing that is putting things in writing. When you commit new insights and learning points to writing, you actually create new neural pathways in your brain, okay? So writing will help you to clarify your thoughts, and it practically changes the landscape of your brain. It rewires your brain, and that's why even God, says that write the vision and make it plain, so that those who read it can run with it. That's a verse in the Bible. You can Google it if you are not familiar with it. I'm just saying it's very important that you take notes. And if you are taking this with us, during the first edition, okay, and we are taking it on the dedicated platform. We're delivering this in various channels and platforms, but we are taking it on the custom built platform for delivering our live trainings. You will see that there is a space where you can even take notes. Okay, so you can take notes right on the platform. Okay, as you are taking this training, you can take notes, but just make sure that you download your notes before the end of the training, because if you don't download before the end of the training, you might not be able to. So, but just like maybe 3 minutes, 2 minutes to the end of the training, download your notes. So you don't even need an extra, except if you want to write, maybe you want to write on paper, that's also fine. Okay, but I wanted you to know that you can take your notes even on the platform. And it's not enough to take notes, take action immediately. All of the learning points that you have, turn them into action points. everything that I'm doing today started this way. So I attended a training. I remember that the training was organized by Besta Christian Center in Lagos back then. And two of the speakers that I remember very clearly are Chudi of Red Media and Omojua. Those were the two of the speakers that I remember that like their sessions really impacted me. And immediately I was leaving that venue. Immediately I was still at when I called my friend who is an IT guy. He said, register my domain name now. I gave him the domain, register this domain name. So I took action immediately, and every other thing started to spring up from there. So look for something you can do. You can share what you are learning with somebody. That is also an action. You know, you are taking action on what you are learning. You can tell somebody about the program and tell them they should sign up for the next edition. You can look for something you can do, you know, immediately from what you have learned. Okay, so it's very important, even from this introduction. Okay, so what can you do right now? And the interesting thing is that you think you have learned a lot, but you really haven't learned anything until you implement. It's just like driving school. If you went to a good driving school, you would use a simulator. I used a simulator when I was in driving school. The simulator is like a car, you know, but it's not a real car. It's inside the class or wherever they put it, you know, and then you are driving, you are having the feeling of, oh, I know how to drive, you are seeing the road and all of that. But the real test of knowing how to drive is when you get on the road, okay? And that is the way business also is, and that is the way learning is in general. Education of the road is very important, okay? So it is as you begin to implement that, you begin to get that education of the road and make necessary adjustments, okay? As you begin to do that, then you become a pro, you become an expert, and you start to achieve results. So it's very, very important. If you are not taking action, then you have practically wasted your time. If you have any questions at any point in time, feel free to type in the chat, or you can submit your questions by going to connect.tpcl.com.ng/ask. Now, some people put www behind every link. There's no www there. The www there has been replaced with connect. Okay, so just type connect.tpcl.com.ng/ask. And we're going to receive your questions and attend to those questions. So you can simply type those questions in the chat. Thank you very much. I'll see you in lesson 1. Bye for now. Hello and welcome back to the Idea to Income training. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at principles and paradigms that you must pay attention to in the process of turning your idea to income. Okay, so let's quickly go on to that. Before we move on, I want you to remember this. If you don't remember anything at all, champions are brilliant at the basics. This is from a coach, John Wooden. It's important that you master the basics, that you master the fundamentals. It's just like building a house. The foundation is very important. You don't get to a point where you feel that you have outgrown the basics. What really makes champions, what really makes masters, what really makes people successful is getting a good grip on the basics. And that is what we are going to cover right now. It's important that as you are looking to generate income from your ideas, you see the end from the beginning. Now, for those of us that are people of faith, we say that God knows the end from the beginning. We call him the Alpha and the Omega. And the truth is that we are made in God's image. So we also want to see the end from the beginning, even before we get started. It's just like traveling. If I'm going from Ibadan to Lagos, I know where I'm going. I have a picture in mind. Even if I've not been there before, I have probably checked Google Maps. I have probably asked for directions from people. They've told me when you see this signpost, when you see this bus stop, you understand, okay? Or maybe you want to build a house. You have the picture of the house before you get started. You have a plan. In fact, you could even have a prototype, like a model. But the point is, you know the kind of house you are going to build. You know, am I building a residential apartment? Am I building an office complex? Am I building an hospital, or is it a hospital? Am I building a school? Do you understand? So that is going to determine how you go about it. If your goal is just, I just want to make money, there are lots of ways to make money. You don't need to start a business. But what we are doing is that you already have a business, you want to create new streams of income from it, or you don't have a business, you want to start a business, you have an idea, okay, and you want to turn that idea into multiple streams of income. And the way we are doing that is by creating businesses. So if you just want to get money any which way, then this is not for you, okay? But I believe that for you to have signed up for this program, then you are somebody that is committed to the process. So it's important that that you see the end even before you get started at all. I like the way Stephen Covey puts it in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He said, begin with the end in mind. And why is this important? That means you are going to have to set a vision for your business. You have a vision, you have a mission. Then vision and mission are not things that you just put on paper. They are living entities in themselves. And the quality of your vision will determine what becomes of your business or whatever it is that you are doing. Your business will grow or shrink to the level of your vision. And let me give a very practical example from the Plenipotent Company. When we started, we decided that we wanted to be a company that offers the quality and reliability of a large corporation while innovating with the ease and flexibility of a small business. Now, we also decided that we are going to work with a competent network of professionals or a network of competent professionals to deliver customized solutions based on client needs. Okay, and one of the reasons that we started the company was to make it possible for people to get the help that they need, even if they cannot afford it. Now, why is all of this important? So we have actually painted the end. And okay, one other thing that I probably should let you know is that by 2046, we would have started 150 companies in 193 countries. And those companies together would have employed at least 3 million people. And these are things that are going to happen. If Jesus tarries, you are going to be here to see it. And for 2022, we already set a goal for 2022, and we're going to be doing that every year. You understand, okay? And even before now, we are already on track. We've started quite a few companies already, okay? And we're looking at 150 by 2046. Now, that is starting with the end in mind. Now, what has that done for us? Today, everybody is talking about remote work. People are still trying to adjust because of the global health crisis and all of that. But we started that way from the beginning. And the reason we started that way, primary reason we started that way, was our vision. We already had the vision of the fact that, okay, we're going to be working with a network of professionals from different places. And as I speak to you now, we've had people work with us from Pakistan, we've had people from the United Kingdom, we've had people from different parts of Nigeria. Do you understand? And that is the function of the vision. That's because we have seen the end from the beginning. Since 2017, when the company started, that was how we started. Okay, unlike recently when people now started to adjust, during the lockdown and everybody was complaining, at some point after all of them, how are you doing? How's your business? At some point it's almost started feeling like but we couldn't pretend. The truth is, we were doing very well. We didn't feel it. Do you understand? And that is the function of the vision. Okay, so do you just want to make money, or do you want to build an enduring legacy? It is important that you determine that from the beginning. Why exactly are you going into business? I have given you some reasons for us. So what are your own reasons? It is important to start with your reason. Why? Why exactly? Do you understand? And converting ideas to income is not difficult. What you just need to do is to look for existing problems and then devise new ways to solve those problems. That's why King Solomon said there is nothing new under the sun. It's true. We're just looking for new ways to do things. For example, the car. Okay, people have always been moving. It's not like the car is a totally new. Do you understand? People have always been moving, just that they've been using their legs. Then somebody felt like, okay, we can use camels. They started using camels and horses and all of that. Then somebody said we can have cars, and then they made the car. Then now we have aircraft. We have so now what the car and the aircraft are doing is essentially the same, but one does it, in an improved way. One is faster. Do you understand? That is all it is about. Now look at the likes of Bolt and Uber. We've always had taxis, but they solved that same problem of transportation in a new way. Look at what we're doing right now. You are receiving training in a new way. It's an existing problem, it's an existing need. We are just looking for new ways to meet those needs. Okay, that is also going to work for you. So that idea that you have, what problem is it going to solve? What need is it going to meet? How can you meet that need or solve that problem in a new way? How can you make it easier, for example? How can you make it faster? How can you make it cheaper? Do you understand? So those are the things that you should be looking at. How can you improve the experience of the people that use your product or your service? Okay, so it's not about totally looking for something new that nobody has done before. It is actually best to look for where people are already spending their money. What are the things that are already generating income for others? Okay, so that shows you that, this thing is viable. People need it. Okay, so what can you do to make the experience better? Do you understand? So it's very important that you take note of that. So it's not just about having brilliant ideas. People have all sorts of brilliant ideas. It's about having viable ideas. An idea can be brilliant, but it's not viable. And that could be for various reasons. One of the reasons could be that maybe that the time for that idea has just not come. There are some ideas like that maybe you are 100 years, someone like me, by God's grace, I'm like 100 years ahead of my generation. But okay, let's keep that. Now, there are some ideas you have that the time has just not come. You understand? And there are some ideas, but the point is that you need to look for viable ideas, not just brilliant ideas. And there are three ways that you can actually, or three areas where you can actually look for viable ideas. Now, you can ask yourself, this thing that I'm doing, is it going to help people improve in their health? That's one area. Is it going to help them improve in their relationship? Is it going to help them improve in their finances? If it's not going to achieve any of those three, you have to think again. For example, this training now, you are here because it's going to help you improve your finances. And if your finances improve, your relationship and health could actually improve. You understand? Okay. Don't let me. I wanted to give an example, but the point is, you know what I mean. Money can improve your health and it can improve your relationships. Now, one of the questions I get asked a lot when doing trainings like this is that, okay, so how do I start an online business? Okay, I can use an online business to convert my idea to income and all of that. But like I said, those of you that went through the full registration process, that's the wrong question to ask. Okay, saying that, okay, how do I start an online business? Now, the point is not about starting an online business. It is about starting a business. So you start a business, and then you take your business online. Because the same principles that apply to online business, like we said earlier, principles are fundamental, okay, and they are universal. So whether you are running an online business, you need to take care of your customers well. Whether you are running a physical business, the same principle applies. Whether you are running an online business, you need to be mindful of your finances, okay, keep your books well and all of that. If it is a physical, do you understand? The principles are the same. So it's about how do I start a business? Then you now take that business online. We're going to cover that also in the course of this training, especially at the retreat. Okay, there is an assignment that will help you to take your business online, and then we'll complete that at the retreat for those that complete all of their assignments. So I just wanted to clarify that because there's a lot of craze about, I want to start an online business. And honestly, it's one of the ways through which you can convert your idea to income, and we're going to look at practical models for doing that. But if you start by asking, I want to start an online business, you're starting with the wrong question, and you will be starting on the wrong premise, and you are going to be overwhelmed with a lot of options. You may not even know what to do. Then you are also likely to focus on the money you want to make instead of the value you want to deliver, and that is just going to skew the equation in a way that might not be sustainable or that might limit your potential. So the question you ask is, okay, what business do I want to start? Okay, then once I start this business, how can I take it online and create multiple revenue streams from it? Okay, now it's very important to note that business is all about people. We've heard a lot of, oh, follow your passion, follow your passion. It's not about your passion. It's not about you. Okay, the truth is you are not as important as you think. Okay, now that may sound hard, but it's true. I'm not as important as I think. We're important, but we're not as important as we think. Okay, it is about people. If your business is not serving people, if your business is not making lives better for others, then it's not needed. You are not going to, you can make money for a while, but it's not going to be sustainable. And even if it is sustainable, people eventually, it's not even going to be sustainable, because people will eventually find out. And if you keep scamming people and all of that, you will not even have peace yourself. That's not the kind of legacy you want to leave. You understand? So it's about service. So I want to convert my idea to income. Okay, so what service am I prepared to render? How am I prepared to improve people's lives? Okay, so it's very important, because service will open doors for you that nothing else will open those kind of doors. And you don't need to have clients, or you don't need to have customers before you start serving. Okay, look at the example of Jesus Christ, for example. Okay, I said look at the example, for example. You get what I mean? Now, the Bible tells us that even when we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Now, his business also now, and that's one thing I tell people, don't just read the Bible as a religious book. Read it as a book of life strategies. Okay, but that's the story for another day. Now, but I hope you pick that. Now, Jesus Christ is like, okay, God is the business owner, as it were. Okay, in fact, Jesus said, I must be about my Father's business. Okay, so God wanted to start a business on the earth, and he sent Jesus Christ to go and look for clients. We are the clients. okay, giving our lives to Jesus, changing the way we live and all of that. We are buying into his ideals, into his values. But before we became his clients, he already stepped us at the highest level. He laid down his life for us. So that is the same approach you also should have. If you want to generate income from your idea, that idea right now, how can you start using it to serve people right now? Even before those people accept you, even before they start giving you money. Do you understand? And we talked a bit about this in the prelude, for those of you that took the prelude, and that's why it's important to take the pre-training assignment, okay? But you already get the gist here. I don't want to go over it. The point is that service opens doors that nothing else will, and you don't need to wait until people sign up for your product or service and all of that. That idea that you want to use to generate income, test it. Does it really help people? Does it really create value for people? Is it really something that people will want to pay for? Okay. And once you have done all of this, it's important that you are not in a hurry. Most people want to just get things done sharp, fast. It doesn't happen like that. Somebody said that you cannot give birth to a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. That's the law of process. Okay, there is a process, there is an incubation period. Okay, nobody prays to deliver. No pregnant woman prays to deliver before 9 months. You have to carry the pregnancy for 9 months, okay, before you deliver. It's the same way with building a business. So it's like planting a seed. And it is very important to take note of this. It's very important to understand it, because if you don't, you are going to be overwhelmed and you may not even have results. So look for the smallest possible way to start that thing that you want to be doing. Now, we said, for example, we're building a globally scalable company that offers clients the quality and reliability of a large corporation while innovating with the ease and flexibility of a small business. We said that by 2046, we're going to have provided gainful employment, for 3 million people. Okay, we would have started 150 companies across 193 countries, and they would have provided employment, gainful, purpose-driven employment for 3 million people. Now, that's a big goal, but what is the smallest way we can start doing it right now? Do you understand? This training that we're doing is part of it. Now, at the end of this training, if you implement everything, you go through the entire process, you attend the retreat, you take advantage of all of the opportunities we have. I am assuring you personally, and you can write it down, go through all of the process, and I'm assuring you that at the end of 1 year of you going through the entire process, you would be making at least 10 times the minimum wage. In whichever country you are in, you make at least 10 times the minimum wage. By the time you look at how much you have made at the end of the year, you see that it's going to be equal to, you understand, and that is the goal. Okay, so we want to provide purpose-driven employment for 3 million people. We're starting. There are things we can start doing about that right now. So in your own business also, that idea that you have, what is the smallest way that you can start to implement it right now? Okay, so start that and be patient with the process, okay? Because it's very important. Don't have this mindset of instant gratification, okay? And it's important to also mention, many of us, we overestimate what we can achieve in the short term. For example, you have just started this business, I want to have 10 clients this month, I want to have 1 client, even 1 client this month, and you just started the business. You may not have 1 client this month, you may not even have 1 client for the next 3 months, but if you keep at it, if you keep doing all of the right things, by the time you look back, after 1 year, you might have had 20 clients, but your goal was to have 1 client per month. So that means by the time you look at it over 1 year, over a period of 12 months, and you now have 20 clients, that means you have actually surpassed your goal. Or maybe you want to make 3 million naira in your first year, and your first year maybe you only made 30,000, and you are discouraged. But by the time you look back after 10 years, you saw that you did not make 3 million naira. Now, let's say you have been making 3 million naira per year. At the end of 10 years, that should be 30 million naira. But you only made 30,000 your first year, but you keep at it. Now, by the time you look back at the end of 10 years, you might have discovered that you've made 30 million. Okay, sorry, you've made like 300 million, or you've made maybe $30 million instead of 30 million naira. And that means you have now surpassed your target. So we tend to overestimate what we can achieve in the short term and underestimate what we can achieve in the long term. But what we should really do is to focus on the long term. Okay, fine, some results will come in the short term, but if you focus on the long term, you are going to be successful ultimately compared to somebody who is only focused on the short term. So these are very important fundamentals that we must pay attention to if we are going to succeed in business and in the process of turning our ideas into income. Now, many people are so passionate about their ideas. They're like, oh, I have this idea. When they are telling you, in fact, some people tell you, like, I've actually had somebody say it, that, oh, this idea that I have, it's the best thing since sliced bread and all of that. And this is an idea that has not even been tested. So don't be so excited about your ideas. Generating ideas, anybody can generate ideas. It's like having sex. You enjoy it, it feels good, but there is no offspring. You are not going to have a baby if you are not ready to carry the pregnancy. And pregnancy is not easy, the discomfort. Now, for the woman, even for the man, the woman carries the bulk of the body, even for the man that planted the seed also. And that takes us back to the process of seed and incubation that we said. The sperm that is planted is the seed, and then it goes through an incubation process. It's the same way in business. So generating ideas is, you can generate, we have ideas every day, but you now have to be ready to do the work. Okay, you have to be ready to do the work, whether we are delivering, through the normal delivery process, the natural delivery process, or you are delivering through surgery. There is a level of pain that is involved. You understand? Okay, and even that process of carrying the pregnancy, that is the way business also is. So it's not enough. You want to turn your idea to income, yes. Are you ready to carry the pregnancy? Are you ready to go through the pain of delivery? Okay, it is important that you settle that before you even move on. So if you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat if you've not done that already. And we also have the link, connect.tpcl.com.ng/ask, where you can submit your questions. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye for now. Welcome back to the Idea to Income training. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at practical frameworks. Now that we have covered the fundamental principles, okay, we've covered the basics, okay, so what are the frameworks that you can use to actually get started with the process of converting your idea to income? My name is still Philip Amiola, and like I said earlier, you can connect with me on my personal website. You are going to get a gift, okay, when you sign up there. Okay. Remember this before we go on, nothing grows without commitment. If you are not ready to be committed, don't even get started. A lot of people just want to make money, but they don't want to do the work. We are going to do the work. Okay, the interesting thing is that the work will keep on paying off. So if you are the kind of person that just wants money any which way, this is not for you. So you must make up your mind. You are going to be committed to the process. Just like we gave the example of incubation, you have a baby planted in the womb and then the baby keeps growing. It takes a lot of commitment from the mother, okay, to carry that pregnancy. It takes a lot of commitment from the parents, together to nurture the baby. You understand, and make the baby grow. And that is the same way it is with everything. Even as a farmer, you understand, there has to be that commitment. Okay, that's why Jesus Christ said that if you put your hand on the plow, that anybody that puts his hand on the plow and looks back is not worthy of the kingdom. Okay, and that's another thing we're going to talk about. Kingdom in this sense is not about the kingdom the way people look at it religiously. Okay, the kingdom in this sense is that what is it that God has called you to do? Okay, what is kingdom is just like using the word government. So the same way we have government in this world, God also has his own government. God has his plans. He has the things he wants to do on the earth. He has the plans and purposes he wants to fulfill. Okay, and you have a role to play in making that happen. What I am doing now is part of the role that I am playing, okay? And Jesus said that seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added to you. Okay, so that thing that God has called you to do, you just keep doing it. Then all of the other things that people are running after, they are running after money, they are running after a lot of things, those things will be running after you, those things will be looking for you. Okay, so that's what he's saying. And he now said that if you put your hand on the plow and you look back, then you are not worthy of the kingdom. Okay, that means you are not worthy of that thing that God wants to bring you into. Okay, it just goes back to commitment. And in another place, he said that, if you are going to follow me, you must take up your cross daily. Nobody will carry your cross for you. You have to carry it by yourself. In fact, there was a rich man that wanted to follow Jesus, and Jesus said, go and sell everything you have, then come and follow me. It's a test of commitment. Do you understand? And if you are going to convert your idea to income, you're also going to go through those tests of commitment. In my own case, there was a time that things were so bad that I was going to sell my laptop. My laptop is my primary tool, for crying out loud. I said, see, let me just sell this laptop. At least I will be able to, get food stuff for the house and all of that, and then I can go get a job. And like I've always said, unemployment is optional. Underemployment is understandable, but unemployment is optional. I believe that if you are out of job for more than 3 months, it's because you choose to. It's not because there are no jobs. You may not get a job that suits what you want, but you always get a job. If you may not even get a job, but there's always more than enough work. Okay, and there's a difference between work and job. Most people don't really want to work; they just want a place where they can get money. So, but I knew that if I wanted a job because I'm ready to work, I knew I could easily get a job. So I just said, let me even sell this my laptop. All of this building a business, generating ideas and turning them into income. I think I'm tired. Okay, let me just get a job. I got to that point. And I was almost selling my laptop. Thank God for my wife that encouraged me. I said, what did you see when you started? This. She said some things. And I said, well, okay, let us keep at it. That is commitment. You understand? So you may even need people around you to give you that kind of support and encouragement at those crucial moments. Okay? And if you have read my book, How to Start Your Own Business, you saw the story of how I got started. And I told myself, okay, if I'm not able to pay rent, I'm going to go back to my parents' house. All of those kind of it's commitment. You are not for me. I actually sold my car. At that point, but there are people who say, everybody already knows that I'm driving. And then, what will people say? Well, do you understand? You have to forget about all of those what will people say kind of thinking. Do you get the point? So that commitment, I'm hammering on it because it's very important. So I'm going to get to places where you feel that this thing is not working. But if you keep at it and you keep making necessary adjustments, you keep learning, you are going to break through. I have broken through now by God's grace. I can never ever, go back to where I was again. If somebody offers me a job now and they are going to be paying me $10 million per month, I'm not going to take it because the value of what I have is far, far higher. Now, if you are going to hire me as a consultant, why not? I will consult for you. But if you want me to be an employee of your company, I have left that forever. Now, you understand. Now, like I said, there's nothing wrong with being an employee. It's just, a choice. You can make the choice that works best for you. I am just saying that there are times that it looks like this thing is not going to work. But if you commit to it, you will eventually break through. And you can never, ever go back to that place that you were again. It's just like death and resurrection, like going back to the example of Jesus Christ again. I said that I see the Bible as a book of life strategy, so I pick a lot of practical principles from it. Now, Jesus went to he was humiliated, he was beaten, he was battered, but he committed himself to the process and to the point of death. But after he resurrected, after he rose up, death has lost its power over him. He can never ever, be in that state again. He's glorified now forever. Do you understand? That is also the way it happens in business and in the process of turning your ideas to income. You get to a point where you are just like escape velocity in physics. You can't come back again. You just keep going up. Okay, that is where I am. I am now by the grace of God. I will just keep going up, higher and higher, forward ever and higher, upward and forward only. That's the only direction I can take. I cannot go back, go forward, come back, go forward. No, I've left that stage. Okay? And that is what happens when you are committed to the process. If that is the only thing that you get from this lesson and you put it in mind, I tell you, it's going to be worth $1 million. Okay, so what are the 4 steps in our framework? The framework that we're going to be exploring, I told you we're going to have frameworks and we're going to have models. We'll talk about models in the next lesson, but in this lesson we're looking at the frameworks. So we have digital products. You can package your idea in the form of a digital product. You can package it in the form of a DIY product, do it yourself. You can package it in the form of a DWY product, done with you. And we also have DFY, done for you. I'm going to explain. Now, whatever idea it is that you have, you can create digital products from it, like books. Okay, you have read my book, for example. Some of you have read my book, How to Start Your Own Business. That is a digital product, an ebook. I could have sold that ebook. I could sell it for $5, $10, 3,000 naira, 1,000 naira. That's something. So I'm already converting my idea to income with that digital product. So that's an example. You can have a worksheet, you can have a guide, you can have a manual, you can have a short, video tutorial, and that you charge people for it. Do you understand? That is an example. Now, let me use, well, we're still going to see prototypes and patterns, but let me just use a simple example. We asked when you were signing up for the training, what do you do and all of that. So I'll just pick an example. Now, we have quite a number of people that are into fashion business. Now, this applies to anything. So whatever you are doing, you just take it and apply to this. So let's say you are a fashion designer, you are a tailor. Now, you can create a digital product, you can create an ebook, for people that want to learn fashion designing, or for people that want to learn how to pick the right clothes, or whatever problem people have been coming to go for. You can create a small ebook for that. Do you understand? That's the digital product. Now, Ribbons and Stitches, she's one of our clients. Okay, she's probably listening to this too. Now, she's a fashion entrepreneur, and she has quite a number of digital products. Now, there was a time that she's creating more. Now, there was a time that she had something that she called wardrobe staples. If you are on this call, you can type in the chat, say hi. Okay. Now, so that wardrobe staples is okay. You want to quickly just make what you can wear on your own. You don't want to talk to a tailor, a fashion designer. She created a training for that. Now, that is a DIY kind of thing. That's a DIY offer. You understand? Okay. Then there is the DWY. That's the done with you. That's like an apprenticeship program. She has an apprenticeship program. Can you see how you have different levels of value? Now, so the apprenticeship program is there now where, okay, you come into a place, into a workshop, you work together on projects, she shows you what to do, she guides you through. That is the DWY offer. That's an apprenticeship program, which people are also going to pay for that. Then apart from the fact that people are paying for your apprenticeship program, you are, those apprentices are also working on projects that are creating value for you. For example, as a fashion designer, they could be making ready-to-wear dresses for you. Okay, ready to wear, and the people just come and then they just pick the ready to wear and they buy. But it's on apprentices that made those clothes for you, and that is also creating another stream of income. Do you see how this thing works? Now, that ready to wear that you created is an example of the DFY model done for you. Okay, so people, you have already done it. People don't need to come and then take measurement and all of that. You've done it. They just pick it up. Okay, that is DFY done for you. So these are the 4 frameworks that we're going to be exploring, and I will show you very practical examples that we have done. Okay, and I'm also showing you how you can. I'm also going to show you how you can apply this to any kind of business. But what I have done here is to give you an overview. So in subsequent lessons, we're going to look at the models. Okay, then after looking at the models, then we're going to plug in the models into the frameworks, and we are going to see practically how this works and how you can also take your idea and then turn it into a digital product, turn it into a DIY offer, turn it into a DWY offer, turn it into a DFY offer. And at each level, you are increasing the income that you are creating, okay, and you are also increasing the value that you are delivering to your clients. Okay, now ultimately the goal is that you want to achieve transformation. It's not about, there is a lot of information out there already. When the information is, in fact, there is information overload already. So it's not about you just want to give people more information. It's not even about education. Education is more powerful than information, but the goal of education itself is transformation. Okay, so you get the attention of your target market. That's the beginning. Like, I got your attention now. That's why you signed up for this training. Okay, and you are going through the process. The goal is that at the end, you are transformed. You are a totally different person. You can do, what you could not do before. Maybe you did not have a business before. You had a business before. You only had 1 stream of income. Now you can have 2 streams, 3 streams, 4 streams, 5 streams of income from the same idea. That is transformation. Do you understand? And that is what you want to create for everybody that works with you. Okay, so you want to create transformation for them as you take them through increasing levels of commitment. We talked about commitment earlier. So for you, it was easy for you to just sign up. No, some people, it wasn't even easy for them to sign up. They looked at it and say, okay, I'm going to, so this thing is not even free. So they left. So those people are not even committed at all. But for those of you that signed up and you saw that this thing is not so much now, let me sign up, and then you signed up, that is a commitment. You have made a commitment. The fact that you are right here, taking this right now is another level of commitment. And then it will keep taking you like that, okay, until you get to the highest level. And you look back and you are like, wow, everything has changed. You see the transformation. And honestly, that is the most common word that we have received from people that have gone through our various programs. They say it's transformational. That's the most common feedback that we have received, and that is the goal that you should have, okay, as somebody that wants to turn your idea into income. Some people, for example, they just create an ebook and they are selling the ebook and they are selling, is it only ebook? Can't you do an online course, for example, from the same material? Can you have a coaching program from the same material? How can you turn that thing into a process, not just one product? You should have a process that people go through from one level to the other. For example, now I've told you about our retreats. Do you understand? So you started by signing up, you read my book, okay, for those of you that have done the assignment, now you are taking this training, now there is a retreat. After the retreat, there will be an opportunity for coaching. I told you earlier that I will coach you for 6 weeks. Then after those 6 weeks, okay, there will be an opportunity for a year long. You can sign up for a year long coaching program. Okay, we're actually combining the coaching program with a mastermind. So there is no way we go through all of that, and there is no way that you go through and then you will not turn your against me, because it's not possible. It's just like, I give this example a lot. You put water on fire, you don't need to pray for that water to boil. It's a process and it's a law. You understand? So we have thought through, and all of these things are scientifically validated processes. So it's something that you know that if I do this, this is going to happen. Do you understand? So whatever it is that you are doing, you should also create that kind of process. So what do I need to do? What process do I need to take my clients and my prospects and my customers through to create the kind of transformation that they need? And at each level, they are going to be making, more commitment, and more commitment, also from them also translates to more income from you. Like when you come for the retreat now, I've told you the retreat is free, okay, at least for this period that I mentioned, it is free. But when you come, we are going to see how we're going to make money from that free program. Do you understand? And in fact, you are even going to be very happy that we are making money, because we have created transformation for you. Do you understand? These are very practical things, okay? And that's why it's important that you come to the retreat so you see how all of this plays out. But it's not like we're not hiding anything. We've told you already, okay? And if you have questions also, please go ahead and ask, and we're going to clarify everything. But this is how it works. This is the framework, okay? So we're going to now look at the models. Then we plug in the models into the frameworks, look at practical prototypes, and you see how you can implement the same, okay? But if you want to achieve the results faster, then I advise that you sign up for the retreat, and we are going to get information about that on the discussion platform. Thank you very much. And before we close, and I've told you already about the retreat, the only requirement is that you take all of the lessons and you complete all of the assignments, okay? Then you can get a chance, okay, to have me work with you one-on-one, at the retreat. When I say one-on-one, of course, we're going to have like maybe 10 to 12 people, but I will give each person one-on-one attention, okay? Yeah, so thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next lesson.